Well, the family live and work on the farm here, and we can count about 12 generations, so we have. The farm has grown over those period of time to be about 400 acres. It includes a large amount of rocky ground, which is maybe generally unproductive in agriculture terms, but I suppose farmers like to use the word scope. We have scope for animals to move about, which makes them more comfortable, they're less confined. We're generally speaking fairly happy with our lot. Well, I suppose it's been going on, most of my life. It was a very small group of people at the beginning. I think you've met a couple of them there, and they had a wee group, and then through time they more or less had the cliff to themselves and liked it that way, and it was nice. They always called here and we had a good friendship with them. And then I suppose in the last, it's probably 15 to 20 years, but our wee car park was built in 2007, so that gives you an idea. Then it was starting to grow and they needed a place to park, and that's what they did. And there was probably universities, there's clubs in Queens and clubs in Dublin, and that seemed to be a budding ground for climbers to develop an interest in it. I suppose students went to school, went to college and tried out new things, and climbing seemed to be one of them. And I suppose easier access and better roads. There's a big contingent of climbers from the Dublin area actually, and I suppose all over Southern Ireland, but they're basically based around Dublin. And then in the last 10 years, I think there's been an increase in indoor climbing walls, which gives the sport more access to more people to try it out. And once they develop their skills in the walls, then they want to try the cliff. And so essentially, well, you asked me when we've been aware of it sort of all our lives, and I suppose you kind of become aware that climbers from all over the world know about Fairhead. It doesn't matter who the nearly any top climber that you would care to mention has had a few minutes or a few days in Fairhead, and that would be from Alex Honnold to Chris Bonington. That's a fantastic set of people. They really are. They just live for it, The more dedicated ones will do a few months' work to earn enough money to climb for a few months, and be it here or be it Europe or be it South America or North America. We were aware that people were becoming aware of Fairhead and wanting to visit it, and so we developed a wee few trails and built a few styles, and it's kind of like, I'll not say that we weren't like anybody else. We had a bit reticent about letting people onto the farm to begin with, but our experience of the people that come has generally been good. People who want to make the effort to get into the countryside generally tend to have a wee bit of care for it. People are enjoying it, and I suppose it is clearly becoming more popular. I mean, on a good Sunday night or a good Saturday, the car park can be quite busy. Some of the climbers traditionally have liked the quietness of it, but most of them are saying it's nice to see more people there. It's good to see people getting into the countryside and just having somewhere that they can go. And we will through time. Sometimes we're slow moving in some of those things, but I suppose small steps maybe is better than big leaps sometimes. And we've made a wee start there this year in a bit of septic tank provision, and it'll probably take us another year to actually get a toilet built, but we'll get there. So we will. So when I was a child, farming was quite almost a community-based activity. There was things happening on the farms that involved neighbours and involved, I would say in the last 10 or 15 years, maybe 20 years, farming has become a more isolated activity. There's more specialisms in it, and I suppose like everything else, this area is good for sheep production and other areas are good for arable production and other different areas for dairy production. But over at Siles today, there's a contractor doing it. He'll put in 50 acres in a few hours and he'll bang and be gone. 40 years ago that would have been a week's work type of thing. I had an uncle said that most changes for the better. When he was a young man, he ploughed with horses. And he said a tractor was a big improvement on a horse. And so it's kind of like progression, and I suppose that's how you can maintain your own groundedness with that progression. I will, at the farm, I'll probably still only provide one living. The car park there, like, supplements as I said to you, but livestock goes up and down and changes from time to time, and the car park's doing what started off small, and it was the idea that it would contribute a little bit to farm income, and it is doing that. And I suppose sustainability is the key word there. I suppose sometimes it's a wee bit difficult you'll hear farmers on saying they don't earn a fortune and stuff, but like, I know people who travel to Belfast from Ballycastle every day, and to do that 6 days a week almost takes a wage on its own. So that person needs a bigger wage just to basically keep themselves on the road. And that's a question of what you're happy with, I suppose. But sometimes farmers be very good, and other times it's up and down. I mean, that's but I think if you're prepared for that, and our in terms of economics, our production is very seasonal. We would sell most of what we produce during August, September and October. So we need to prepare to budget that right through the whole year type of thing.